This is Wu-Tang Clan member RZA. See, that's another one. If I could give a recommendation to the admins, if you guys are in the room still too, and these are just I know everybody's got their own style in this. I've never given you guys any kind of direction on things. But it would be my hope that when people come in, calling everybody, every single one of them a tranny, every single one of them a woman who's a boy or a boy who's a man, to help them rein that in, and if they don't rein it in, to remove them. They may believe that. I'm not here to, but I really don't want your contributions in the chat personally. And you may find that to be extreme or totalitarian, but I actually believe that that kind of stuff is exactly the ammo they're trying to give YouTube when they might come and review something, a reasoning and a rationale for removing them. It had nothing to do with what you said, but the tone and sentiment that it seems as though your channel seems to be encouraging. And so that, because you're not finding it. You guys are coming in here and saying that, like, I don't talk about that stuff on my channel. I don't talk about it. I don't know why you're here. I really don't. And I'm not saying that in some cases you may be incorrect. You may be correct. I'm just asking us all, like, to just rein it in, show the evidence. Just simply saying it. Here, in this case, I'm showing you the evidence. I'm not just conjecturing. I'm not just making things up off the top of my head. Let's continue. This is somebody named Sahbabii, Sahbabii, throwing up the devil horns. There they are again, throwing up the gun, like we saw that other woman doing earlier, and he just must be hanging loose. He's hanging loose. I was trying to see if that was an inverted cross or not. You have to pay attention more to... Whoa. Sahbabii. So he's doing the devil horns. And his small hands. And he has an inverted cross tattooed on his forehead. Is it inverted? I can't. Yeah, it certainly looks inverted now that I'm looking at it. So there he is again. Sahbabii. Here he is with the clan, his group, I guess. We got 4, 5, 6. You got all members doing it. You got him doing it. Got him doing it. Him, and him. And my question to you is, do you think it's anything like possibly, you think when they do a rehearsal, it's a little bit like A$AP Rocky in his group, where they come around before they do the songs and they open up their grimoires and invoke the demons? Look at him smiling too. They're just smiling and laughing. It's like, what are you doing? What happened? There he is again. And he's got the heart. I'm telling you, brother, there is definitely everything with them is hidden hand meanings that they plaster over everything. Salma Hayek, who turns into demons in Quentin Tarantino's films. Sometimes I think, what was that movie? What was the movie that Tarantino made? Dusk Before Dawn, is that what it was? I think that's what it was. So I actually think he's hip. He knows. He knows. Because I've seen it in my life. It's called gang stalking. And there's been a bunch of other people now, too. Before you had the internet, you just sounded like some loon. And there's a lot of people in this community, in that community as well, just like I'm talking about in the truth community, who actually have the spirits themselves in them, trying to throw shade, trying to keep this stuff from coming to the light, who actually help to lampoon it to make it appear crazy, wacky, that you are somehow associated with and in the camp of this, must mean that it's actually, even though you sound actually very convincing and very heartfelt, because there's this other person over here who's saying that they also went through something like it, but they sound like an absolute loon and nut job, you must be as well. Welcome to the Hegelian dialectic, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the occult's favorite game, Order Out of Chaos. Salma Hayek, again, loves you. This guy named Salman Khan, I'm not sure if you know who that is or not, a Bollywood actor. There he is on, I guess, his poster, the movie poster for Ready. I've never watched any of his movies or anything, but there you go. And if you will notice, too, Kwame.com, on the front of this, do you see the eyeball is their logo? New World Order, ladies and gentlemen. There he is now there, too. You have to sell out. You have to be a sellout. So you got to do this. You got to do this. These are the main promos for your movie. Salvador Dali, which here is Salvador Dali, he was a well-known occultist. We showed this the other day, but just to jog people's memories, this is why they never do anything new. This is Dave Matthews trying to sort of pay his respect to an Illuminati forebearer. There's Dali again. Of course, he was at the Rothschild Illuminati party. Here is a Dali, Salvador Dali inspired, I don't know, was this 1930s, 40? I don't know when this was taken. But this, we've been dealing with this for a long time, ladies and gentlemen. And again, with this woman here, just want to ask you a question. Like, does she look all there? I also see 5 digits on what appears at first glance to be branches of some sort, some kind of plant. But remember when we saw that tattoo on that man? I can't remember who it was. But it looks like a demon hand, actually, to me. I don't know about you. There's this woman again. I don't know who she is either. I didn't put her name. I didn't save her name. But this is another Dali image. There you go again. Just in case you didn't know, like Dave Matthews was sort of paying his respects to Illuminist Salvador Dali. Because they're all wacky, supernatural, end of times characters. Who we should pray for? Again, we got to pray for. There's a person in there. There is. They're not. There's no biblical precedent for me to say that these are not human people. They may be terror, ultimately. I think it's very difficult. I mean, I'll keep it honest. I think that the deeper and deeper and deeper you go into the occult and Satanism, the more and more difficult it's going to be for you to actually come out of it. Because there's going to be there's going to be hell to pay, actually, for that. As you can see, this starfish, and by the way, Fritz Springmeier actually talks about how, I believe it was starfish or shellfish are used in the programming. But that's also that's a Baphomet. That's a pentagram. But he just so happens to be covering his eyeball up with. Yawn. You're so original, Dolly. Such an artist. This is Salvador Ferragamo. Okay, so since it's we're in the S's now, I'm going to go ahead and take a small break. And I will be back here shortly. I'll play you guys a little music while I'm gone. And what will be a good one? I'll play those two again. I'll be right back.
How deep the Father's love for us, how vast beyond all measure, that He should give His only Son to make a wretch His treasure. How great the pain of searing loss! The Father turns His face away, as wounds which mar the chosen one bring many sons to glory.
Behold the man upon a cross, my sin upon His shoulders. Ashamed, I hear my mocking voice call out among the scoffers.
It was my sin that held Him there until it was accomplished. His dying breath has brought me life. I know that it is finished. I will not boast in anything, no gifts, no power, no wisdom, but I will boast in Jesus Christ, His death and resurrection. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer, but this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom. Why should I gain from His reward? I cannot give an answer.
But this I know with all my heart: His wounds have paid my ransom.
My salvation comes from Him. 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 He is my rock and my salvation. He is my fortress. I will not be moved. For the Lord is my glory and
My strength, my soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone. My salvation comes from Him. My salvation comes from Him. My salvation comes from Him. My salvation comes from Him.
my soul
Finds rest in you. My soul finds rest in you. He's my rock and my salvation. He's my fortress. I will not be moved. For the glories, my fortress, my strength. My soul finds rest in God alone. My soul finds rest in God alone.
my salvation comes
From Him,
my salvation comes
from Him,
my salvation comes
from Him.
my
Salvation comes from Him. My rock and my salvation.
my rock and my salvation.
That was Will Reagan, like Ronald Reagan. God Alone, Psalm 62. Somebody asked in the chat. So here's where we were. Salvatore Ferragamo. Just you got to pick up any random object. So a woman's shoe, why not? Sam Smith, thank you for grabbing your groin as you show us your one-eyed symbol. Because it helps us to realize that even without the one-eyed symbol, who you represent Sam Smith again. He's got the chromosome tattoo. And he's just doing a little one eye for you. Sammy Hanratty, Hanratty. Harpocrates, vow of silence. We're in the S's. That's good. So tomorrow or this evening, depends on how I'm feeling, we'll be doing possibly T to Z. So this is Sammy Hanratty again. Sammy Davis Jr., he was high mage in the Church of Satan. Also a Knight of Malta. He was knighted by the Queen as a Knight of Malta. Just like Jimmy Savile. Just like Elton John. Just like Sir Richards. Or Sir Richard. Sammy Davis Jr. again. Just wants to creepily peer at you from behind the side of a wall. There's Sammy with his good old buddy and chum, Anton LaVey. Samuel Jackson, throwing up a little optometry test. Symbol, there he is again. It's been in many of Quentin Tarantino, who I'll remind you threw up the symbols all the time as well. A lot of his films. John Travolta throws up the symbols as well. Been in his cast of characters. We've already seen that. Salma Hayek. Are you guys gonna kill us? Is that what's happening here? Like, I don't. It's a lot of gun obsession with these people. Sananda Maitreya. Maitreya Buddha is basically the Buddhist version of the Antichrist, which they're waiting for in many sectors of Buddhism. Sandra Bullock. Who people do believe is possibly transgendered. There's a possibility there with this in this particular instance. There she is again, striking the one eye pose for you. There she is again. Thank you, Sandra. Just in case we didn't know. Excuse me. Sarah Gadon, Gadon. Let's go see who she is. I don't know who she is. She is a Canadian actress. She first gained recognition for her performances in David Cronenberg's films A Dangerous Method and Cosmopolis. She has a guest starred in a number of television series, including Are You Afraid of the Dark, In a Heartbeat, Mutant X, and Dark Oracle. Dark Oracle. Here she is on Instagram. Let's go. Let's just have a... We're going on a journey to see if we can see anything else. She likes the peace symbol. Peace and love, my friends. Just like she's living the life. She's living just the good life that you would be envious of, right? So artsy as well. It's very artistic. Very loving, left-leaning liberal family. I'm sure they march with the Rainbow Connection. There's something.
Hey, let me.
Let me suck on my thumb like I'm a little baby. Okay. Not sure if that'll flag me, so I'm gonna. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Wu-Tang Clan. Showing you her ovaries, her vagina. You just asked the question. Wonder if this might be a particular coven. Maybe, maybe not. Because you'll just start to find, let's see if we find any of the, there you go. There's some one eye. There's a ghost. The ghost one eye version. Interesting. Tells you a little something there. Peace and love, peace, peace. We're bound to find more. When they have Instagrams, I sometimes go and look just to see. But let's not spend too much time on this, but I'm having fun. We're just having fun. We're hanging out. This is sort of how the research gets done. You just have to put in the footwork. All right, I'm about done looking here. Leonard Cohen. I guess she's a fan of Leonard. Leonard Cohen, by the way. There is a book. I remember this woman would come on to, her name's Anne Diamond, and it's a memoir she published. It's called The Man Next Door. She lived next door to Leonard Cohen. When I was doing my whistleblowing in Buddhism, she actually was commenting in the section under some of the articles about Joshu Sasaki and years of abuse. And she was trying to say, I thought she was crazy back then, talking about how Leonard Cohen, who was a student of Joshu Sasaki, was a mind control victim and all these different things. And I just thought this woman... I remember I confided in some people behind the scenes and just saying, like, who is this nutty person that's talking to me or that's leaving comments here on the website? And now, as I'm very far down the proverbial rabbit hole, maybe one of these days I'll reach out to Ann Diamond even and see if she'd like to come on to the podcast and have a conversation. Sarah Silverman, just doing a little one-eyed wink at you there. And again, just right in your face, it's associated the U.S. of A. She loves America because this is what America is. Look, ladies and gentlemen, do you see how you are inundated with this? Please read. Well, can anybody see what it says under Sarah Silverman Loves America? We're just kind of hanging out here. I just like to see somebody type it out for some reason. I will not be moved for the glory. It says Season of the Witch. And so in there you're going to find secret sex rituals, spell casting essentials, in full moon fashion. We're just imagining it all. We're just imagining it all. So Sarah Silverman leading the cover. She loves America, and inside you can find all the secret sex rituals, the spell casting essentials, and the full moon fashion for the time. I'm glad we're going through all these, because even some of this stuff I didn't get it. And look up here too, the name of the magazine itself, For Women with Something to Get Off Their Chests. It's all satanic. Eyeballs are the polka dots. There you go. Sarah, who dated Jimmy Kimmel for a long time. In fact, I believe, let me see if this is, I don't know if it's going to come up next in the archive. Let's see if it does. It does not. So therefore, I need to go find it to show it to you all. No, wrong category I'm in here. Hang on. Wrong folder anyway. So who is that? I'll do a quiz here with you guys. Who is Sarah in the middle hanging out with there? Right to her left. The person who guesses first will get 5 points. Looks like my stream is still catching up, so. Can anybody identify who that is that Sarah's hanging out with there? Yeah, that's Damien Eccles. That's correct. The blue-assed. That's Damien Eccles of the West Memphis 3, who had been convicted for murdering toddlers in a satanic ritual. Who, again, Johnny Depp and the Dixie Chicks and Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam and Henry Rollins and Peter Jackson of Lord of the Rings came down to the rescue of. Damien lives in Salem today. He's living the good life. He's a very in-demand lecturer on high magic with a K. This is Sacha Baron Cohen in one of his comedic roles. And here he is again, because it's not right here in the archive. This one's going to be harder to find, but I'll find it here in a minute. Yeah, here's Sacha Baron Cohen again in the Disney, think MK Ultra, Alice in Wonderland, Through the Looking Glass update. Here he is, covering up his eyeball with a 666. I don't know. I think they got it wrong. I think he would have been perfect for Freddie Mercury myself. Sasha Peters. P-I-E-T-E-R-S-E. That little vowel of silence. There she is again. Just a little Harpocrates moment. She got a tattoo. Why do they always got some like finger tattoo. That's her again, actually. That's her. No, this is somebody else. Sasha Pivovarova. I don't know who that is. Okay, they know. So she is a Russian supermodel and actress. She has an Instagram. Let's go ahead and have a look at her Instagram for a second. No comment, no commentary, just letting you kind of take that in. There you go. Uzu by Flo Fushi. Got a little one-eye action going there. She apparently has the tongue problem as well. For whatever reason, that disturbs me. Here she is. You remember Karl Lagerfeld, who we were covering the other day, who throws up the symbols all the time? Here you go again. There's Sasha. Again, guys, doing the research is not really that hard. You don't go searching just for Illuminati so and so. Like, just start looking at them. Start helping the process of labeling them appropriately throughout the internet. I mean, we just passed by one here, but here you go. There's another. Here's a little through the looking glass. Alice, Nicole Kidman, in Eyes Wide Shut, had several scenes where she was looking through the mirror. No comment. Okay. Well, we'll get back to where we were. Sometimes their Instagrams are absolutely amazing, though. Look at this here. Oh, and she has a black cat. Huh. Because, Russ Dizdar says that part of their programming is that this person may be programmed to be a witch. Or just throwing those things out there, not saying one way or the other. Notice that even in their artwork, there's always an emphasis on something with the eyeball every single time. So this is the Satanic Temple's After School Satan promo. But they're atheists. They're like the Church of Satan. They're just atheists. They're not really into Satan. Because they said so. Because they said so and you should believe them. There you go. Below is a depiction of Baphomet or Baphomet. Another name for Satan. You'll notice that he has female breasts. From ancient times until the present, Satan has always been depicted as being both male and female, with both genitalia, female breasts, and a male penis. That's what this is. Unfortunately, the penis, and then breasts. And you'll notice, too, a lot of people You've seen this variation of the so-called peace sign. We saw John of Red Hot Chili Peppers doing the devil horns on his head earlier, doing this exact formation. And as a matter of fact, I believe we have here, I'll show you a better, more clear example of it. Here, hold on. This is Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates. This is from his album Sacred Songs. And actually, the entire album, everybody thinks Hall & Oates is a very wholesome, kind of pop rock group. Every song on this is actually, the theme is Aleister Crowley. And he's been an outspoken Thelemite. So you can find him talking about it in interviews that he's very much down for the cause. So Satan's nature is bisexuality, homosexuality, the confusing of the different genders, and mixing the holy with the profane. That's why you'll always know if you hear some intellectual-looking, tattoo-laden person like Terry Richardson, actually, he talked about it once, about the sacred and the profane. When you start to hear them talking about the sacred and profane, they're alchemists, they're occultists. That's, you can just translate that to mean like, I see, like you're a member of the club. It's how he defiles people and keeps them from ever being able to connect with God and live a life of sexual cleanliness and holiness. And when you see LGBT being promoted and supported on a wide scale, these are just followers of Satan bringing their God out of hiding into the light. Coming out of the closet was never meant for homosexuals. It was actually meant for Satan. And, again, a lot of people, they don't know. They don't know if they're a Satanist, or they don't consider themselves Satanists. But you don't have to consider yourself Satan to be serving the devil. But not by any means. Jimmy Savile could not be stripped of his knighthood. Scarlett Johansson, everybody promotes as the most beautiful, voluptuous, full woman. She's just like Marilyn. She's an attractive woman. But here she is. Hollywood starlet to indie icon. Doesn't work like that. And her astonishing debut album. Emo Suicide. There's going to be so many remnants of what happened to us in the aftermath. In the dystopian world, you'll pick up this old new magazine from before it all went down. And you'll be like, oh, we understand now. New World Order. New Order of the Ages. Seal, who somebody said was married to Kate. Who was his wife again? She was in the shoots yesterday. So somebody in the room, if you know, you might be able to type that out. But Seal was married to another illuminist. Here's Sean Lennon. This is John Lennon's son. John and Yoko's son. And it looks as though he has an eyeball necklace on. They're just like walking billboards. Sean O'Prey. Sorry to ask the question again. Ladies and gentlemen, does this individual look dissociated to you? I'm simply asking a question. Here he is again. Sean O'Prey, or O'Pry. O''Pry. Heidi Klum, that's right. Michael said Heidi Klum. That was Seal's wife. She throws up the symbols all the time as well. This is Sean O'Pree still. Interesting optometry visit. It's usually you don't have to wear the glasses to see what your prescription is, but that's, well, I guess you're not technically. Although in the eye that you would be looking at the chart, you still have the glasses over it, so probably won't be very effective for you. This is another member. The other day we were covering band members of EXO, EXO. So this is band member Sehun, Sehun, or Sehun. Here is Diane from Seinfeld. Selena Gomez, of course. That's Selena. No, that's not Selena Gomez. I'm sorry. That's Kendall Jenner. Miscategorized. But here's Selena Gomez. So just so you guys know too, you know that Selena Gomez is an ambassador for UNICEF. So is Millie Bobby Brown, by the way, as well. This is Justin Bieber and Selena exiting. They're exiting a hospital, actually, that they just visited to visit sick children. And for that day, Selena decided to visit the hospital with a smiley face with 666 on it. Here's Selena Gomez walking around with an Alice in Wonderland purse, because it's just so popular. I mean, when I'm 25, I'm still obsessed with Donald Duck. Selena Gomez, I'm not sure why I saved that. Probably just filler for one of the videos. There she is as a kid. Selena. Before the beast system swallowed her up. Before she went on to Barney. Her mother, by the way, I've seen Selena's mother wearing the red wrist Kabbalah wristband. Possibly we'll even see that here soon. Here they are, clearly on the cover of her album, The Scene. Intentionally highlighting the one eye. Here she is over here throwing up devil horns. And she has lightning bolts on her shirt. Here she is doing what they all do. Doing what you have to do. Here she is in a checkered board top, which is just a reminder of MTV, Masonic TV, I'm sorry, music television. Of course, they got to put them all, especially their kid stars. You gotta hang out with Walt. You gotta hang out with Disney Hollywood Studios. By the way, in every depiction of Baphomet, frequently you will see the star. That's the 5-pointed star. That's a pentagram. You need to erase this normal old star image from your mind. And then the moon, the crescent moon, which again, all witches are obsessed with. So let me go ahead and show you a few things, because we're going to be as thorough as possible. This is a training camp video for everyone, so that you will not be deceived in these end of times. Well, yeah, let's bring that one up again. So here it's moon and a moon. You will see the pentagram on obviously Baphomet's forehead here, where his third eye would be, or her third eye, or whatever it is, his third eye, the blurring between lines. But also, let me show you something else here. Remember that whole Pizzagate business, right? With, the mainstream media reported as just being silly nonsense and silly, dangerous nonsense, where the true horrible people were those who actually see it with eyes to see. So here you see in their logo, they've got the crescent moon and the pentagram, or the five-pointed star. And then, interestingly enough, you see that in Mickey's hat all the time as well, for Walt Disney. Because Walt Disney was from Desmoulins. He was definitely a 33rd degree Mason. As a matter of fact, let me show you something else, because I can't just assume everybody knows. At the Disneyland, they have these restaurants called Club 33, and membership to them is very, very expensive. It bars basically anyone who's not of means, and they get to go dine there when they're there. Filled with kind of strange artwork, and let's just say, it says it right there on the front too, 33, Club 33. So probably in reality, it's obviously a selective membership group. So probably you have to be a Mason in the 33rd degree to enter, to even purchase your membership. And then you probably, none of us want to know what is on the menu, considering what we're looking at here. Selena Gomez, throwing up some one-eyed symbolism for you again. There she is again. And again, poor Selena, she was sort of shoved into this industry at a young age. I think that her and Justin were supposed to have a child, and then she miscarried, I think. Some people have had some questions around that miscarriage. But there you go. Doing a little one eye, as well as the classic tongue. There she is doing it again. Because, don't you know, that's what we all do. It's photo time. It's official portrait time. And here we go again. We saw Mila Kunis doing this. Now you see Selena Gomez doing it. The rose over the eyeball. And let's just go ahead and remind you. Sub rosa. It's a Latin phrase for under the rose. Is used in English to denote secrecy or confidentiality. The rose, as a symbol of secrecy, has an ancient history. The rose has sometimes been said to have been the emblem of the god Horus in ancient Egypt. So we're just covering it all here, covering all the bases. There she is again. It's just, you can't get away from it. You got to do it all the time. Got the one-eyed tongue action going on there. Selena, more one-eyed. Photo of a photo. Because that's not been done. We've not seen that one in the series before, have we? There you go. She's got a little antler horns. By the way, they kind of are forming a 666. You think those are antlers? Look at that. Hidden in plain sight. And of course, she's doing Harpocrates, which is also Horus. There she is again. And again, they always have these strange little marks that you don't know what the heck. You're like, why would you tattoo that? What is that? Nobody knows. A lot of times when you ask these celebrities even what they are, it's a mystery. Nobody knows. There she is again. Harpocrates. Yes, this is still live. Somebody asked in the chat room. She is again. I mean, and Selena just came out with that song, God is a Woman. There's an agenda, ladies and gentlemen. And she's basically relating God as a woman to her vagina in it. You got it all right here again, guys. Christians. Lukewarm Christians. Lukewarm. I go along during the holiday season with my society promoting this and having no problem with it. Santa, anagram for Satan. Which comes out of their own Germanic pagan traditions. Old Saint Nick, by the way, Old Nick is an old expression for the devil. Old Nick. Let's go look there for a second, shall we? Old Nick, nickname for Satan, nickname for Santa Claus. So you got Old Nick as a nickname for Santa, and then you also got, if you rearrange the letters, S-A-N-T-A, Satan. And yes, that's correct too. Well, their god is kind of a woman. EJ Sells. They got all kinds of different goddesses. I mean, but it's always goddess worship. But ultimately, in that representation of Baphomet, it's the transgendered. I mean, actually, I had, if you guys are familiar with my testimony, as a matter of fact, one of the first encounters I had with one of the demonized individuals who had knowledge of hidden things in my life, drew a picture with a girl who never spoke to anyone, frizzled hair, schizophrenic, and another young man, and they collaborated on this drawing, and they drew a pyramid with an eye above it and some kind of figure in the sky above it. And I'm going through this whole thing, and I don't know what the heck's going on in my life. And I asked her what that is, and she said it's a transgendered god. And she also said that the pyramid is a place of sacrifice, because it was bleeding from the top, and there were these people walking into it that they drew. And I'm just like, I obviously I didn't know what was going on in my life. I had this gang stalking thing kick off not long before. It's carried out by the demonic. It's through people, but so's this. This is carried out by the demonic through people. Welcome to reality. I realize real life is stranger than fiction. Embrace it. Roll with it. Or perish. It's up to you. So here is Serart, S-E-R-A-R-T,